Have you ever felt like there's more to reality than what we see with our own eyes? A hidden layer, a deeper connection that binds everything together? For centuries, spirituality and science seem to be on completely different paths. One dealt with faith, consciousness, and the unseen. The other focused on the measurable, the material, and the predictable. But what if I told you that in the strange and wonderful world of quantum physics, these two paths are starting to look surprisingly similar? Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating conversations of our time, the mind-bending link between quantum physics and spirituality. Now, hold on. I know what you might be thinking. Quantum physics sounds complicated, right? Don't worry. We're going to break it down in a way that's easy to understand. No advanced degree required. We'll explore how the weird rules that govern the tiniest particles in the universe echo ancient spiritual wisdom. This isn't about proving one with the other, but about seeing the beautiful parallels and expanding our sense of wonder. So, what is quantum physics? In a nutshell, it's the science of the very, very small, the world of atoms, electrons, and photons, and down at this level, things get bizarre. Unlike the predictable world of classical physics, where a billiard ball is either here or there, the quantum world is all about possibilities and probabilities. Let's start with a famous idea called wave-particle duality. Scientists discovered that tiny particles, like electrons, can act as both a solid particle and a spread-out wave, all at the same time. Think of it like this. A particle is a single grain of sand, and a wave is a ripple in a pond. How can something be both? It exists in a state of all possibilities until it's measured or observed. The very act of looking at it forces it to choose a state. This is where things get really interesting. The observer effect. Your observation, your consciousness, seems to play a role in shaping reality at its most fundamental level. For thousands of years, spiritual traditions have taught that our consciousness, our focus, and our intention can influence the world around us. They've spoken of the power of prayer, meditation, and focused thought. Could the observer effect in quantum physics be a scientific glimpse into this ancient truth? That the universe isn't just a static stage we walk on, but a dynamic participatory dance that we are co-creating with every moment of awareness. Then there's the mind-blowing concept of quantum entanglement. Einstein famously called it spooky action at a distance. When two particles become entangled, they become linked in a mysterious way, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure a property of one particle, you instantly know the property of the other, even if it's on the other side of the galaxy. It's like having a pair of magic coins. If you flip one and it lands on heads, you know instantly without looking that the other one has landed on tails. This suggests a profound interconnectedness, a non-local connection that defies our everyday understanding of space and time. This idea resonates deeply with spiritual concepts of oneness or non-duality. Many spiritual paths, from Buddhism to Advaita Vedanta, teach that the feeling of being a separate self is an illusion, that at the deepest level, everything is part of a single, unified whole. We are not just drops in the ocean, we are the entire ocean in a drop. Quantum entanglement provides a tantalizing scientific parallel to this idea of an inseparable, underlying unity connecting all things. Another fascinating area is the idea of the quantum vacuum, or the zero-point field. We used to think of empty space as, well, empty. But quantum field theory tells us that empty space is actually a seething cauldron of energy. It's a field of infinite potential, from which particles constantly pop in and out of existence. This sounds a lot like what spiritual traditions call the void, the akasha, the Tao, or the divine matrix. It's described as a formless creative source from which all of manifest reality arises. It's the silent potential before the Big Bang, the uncarved block, the field of pure consciousness. This quantum field isn't empty nothingness. It's a plenum of possibility. It suggests that the universe is fundamentally made not of stuff, but of potential, information, and energy. Could this be the scientific description of the source of all being that mystics have talked about for millennia? Now, it's crucial to be clear here. Mainstream science does not say that quantum physics proves spirituality. A physicist's job is to describe the how through mathematics and experiments, not necessarily the why or the what does it mean. And we have to be careful not to oversimplify or misrepresent the science to fit our beliefs. However, we can't ignore the stunning parallels. The idea that consciousness influences reality, that everything is interconnected, and that a field of infinite potential underlies all existence. These are not just spiritual ideas anymore. They have echoes in the most rigorous and successful scientific theory we have. Perhaps the greatest gift of this conversation is a sense of awe and humility. Quantum physics shows us that reality is far stranger, more mysterious, and more interconnected than our limited senses would have us believe. It dissolves the hard line between the observer and the observed, between mind and matter, between us and the universe. Spiritual traditions have always invited us to look within, to realize that the universe is not just out there, but also in here. The kingdom of heaven is within you. You are the universe experiencing itself. Quantum physics, in its own language, seems to be pointing in the same direction. The observer is not separate from the system being observed. So what does this mean for us in our daily lives? It's an invitation to live with more awareness. If our observation matters, then where we place our attention becomes incredibly important. Are we focusing on problems or on solutions, on division or on connection, on fear or on love? It's an invitation to feel our connection to everything. When you look at a tree, a star, or another person, remember that spooky action at a distance. At a fundamental level, you are not separate. The same energy, the same field of potential that makes up the cosmos, makes up you. This can cultivate a deep sense of empathy and compassion. This exploration doesn't give us all the answers. In fact, it raises more questions, and that's the beauty of it. It pushes the boundaries of our understanding and opens us up to a universe filled with magic, mystery, and meaning. It suggests that the quest of the scientist to understand the outer world and the quest of the mystic to understand the inner world might just be two paths leading to the summit of the same mountain. What do you think? Does the quantum world hint at a deeper spiritual reality? Or are we just seeing patterns where there are none? I would love to read your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this amazing conversation together. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey into the heart of reality. If you enjoyed this exploration and want more content that bridges science and consciousness, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, stay curious.